All right, everyone. Welcome back. We are live. Everything looks good. I think everything's coming through. Sound, audio, video. Yep, we're looking good. Welcome to the Unconventional Mindset. Happy Wednesday. Yeah, I believe today's Wednesday, February 28th. And yeah, welcome. And today we're going to start diving into marketing and creating YouTube videos. And yeah, it's all part of this whole process of, building ourselves a company that's going to generate us $1 million in revenue every single year. I mean, that's what we're doing here. We're live streaming every day, Monday through Friday, working towards building a company. And we're working on Pixel Pieces, Pixel and Pixel Pieces, which I think eventually is going to get combined into one business. Sorry if you're completely new here and this is your first time watching me. I have a web design agency called Pixel Media, and I've also created Pixel Pieces, which is a Webflow component template library, and they're both under the Pixel umbrella. But anyways, those are the things that we're working on to as our vehicles to generate that kind of money that we're talking about, the $1 million a year kind of thing. And so for Pixel Pieces, and also kind of I guess for Pixel as well, one of the main vehicles that we're going to have for growing our company and growing our client base and all that kind of fun stuff is we are going to invest our time in creating I want to say high quality content, but I mean not so much in terms of really crazy high production value, although we are going to have pretty good production value. But I want to create very valuable, maybe that's the word to use, high value YouTube videos, which are going to be primarily educational in nature, geared towards targeting the people that we believe are going to be our target market. And those are going to be primarily people that are Webflow users or web designers that are in the beginner intermediate stages, and giving them tips, tricks, tutorials, whatever educational materials in order for them to develop websites better, faster, all that fun stuff. So that's what we're going to work on now. And there's the secondary type of audience member that we're going to want as well too, I do believe. And I'm hoping those people kind of filter in by default, would be people that are interested in learning about how to even create a website, where they're like searching on YouTube or wherever, like, I need to build a website. Where do I start? How do I get started? And they can come across Pixel Pieces, and that will either A, lead them to want to use Pixel Pieces because that'll be a tool that they can use to, just get templates or components or whatever and build something a lot faster. Or B, they will seek us out and they'll learn about us, and then they'll contact us or me or whatever the case may be, the company, and want to hire us to build the website for them, right, through our agency. So those are kind of the two things we're keeping in mind. So for today, I think we did this on Monday, where we looked at all these ideas that we have, that we brainstormed in terms of videos that we could make for Pixel. And we started on these four, or we selected these four that we want to get started with. These are going to be the first 4 videos that we're going to release on our Pixel YouTube channel. And we have Introduction to Pixel Pieces. This is kind of more like a high level of everything that we do here. I guess on Pixel, I wonder, yeah, I think it should be for Pixel Pieces. Pixel and Pixel Pieces are kind of two different things, at least for right now. So we'll keep them separated. And then the other one is a tutorial on how to use Pixel Pieces. And we could even focus on how people could optimize their workflow. And then the other one is a tutorial on how to build your very own Webflow component library. So we'll take all the lessons that we've learned over the past, 5 months and distill that into, I don't know how long this video is going to be. Hopefully not too long, but maybe it'll be a series of videos. I don't know. And then one here is just talking about why Webflow works for me as a web design agency. So those are the 4 videos that we're going to do. And we're going to start today by just creating some outlines and getting the ball rolling in terms of getting ready to shoot these videos so we can kind of meet this publication deadline, or, well, not deadline, but schedule, I guess I should say. Rolando, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Good to have you here. After the how to build a reusable component, you should make one on how to use it. Yeah, I imagine there's going to be lots of videos that are going to talk about how to use components and even get even more granular as to which components you should use when and when they're appropriate to use, and kind of even narrow down on even the specific types of components. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Ba, 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 ba. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm going to take this here. I've started, I've used Dropbox Paper, I think once before. Now I use Word, Microsoft Word and Excel usually to write things. But I don't have any of the 360 or whatever, any of that, like the cloud-based stuff. So I wanted to use a document that, number one, I could access from anywhere in the world. And number two, maybe have some collaboration with other people eventually as well. So I think I'm going to try to see if we can use Dropbox Paper as a good tool to write some scripts or write some, write video scripts. So this will be like a little bit of a learning tool, I guess, for using this product. So anyways, so we'll give it a try. We'll see if it works. Can I zoom in on this? I can zoom in on this. Okay. So I wonder if, I think we'll just start with, we'll start with this one, I guess. Okay. And then we'll get on to the other ones. Okay. Introduction to pixel pieces. Okay. So let's kind of think about, things that we want. Let's see, things that we want to cover in this video. So is there a shortcut? There's got to be a shortcut list for this. Oh, anyways. There's some interesting things that are happening. Oh, this is kind of cool. I feel like I'm really going to like Dropbox Paper, but we'll see. Okay. Can you guys see that? Is that... I think that looks pretty good. Okay. Okay, things that we want to cover. Who am I? For sure. What is pixel pieces? What purpose does a Webflow component library serve? So we'll need that. What else did I write? High level overview. Yeah. Who am I? What is pixel people? What is pixel pieces? We also want to know what is our mission? What is our mission? Vision, maybe not so important, but we really want to get to the core of why we do what we do. So definitely want to talk about that. What is our mission? So again, this is really early stages brainstorming thing here. So there might be some things that don't make sense, but just bear with me as we just put things down here as we go along, as we think of things. I want to say almost like what problems do we hope pixel pieces will solve for you? Yeah, exactly, Rolando. I think you said that probably before I typed that in. Yeah, why are we building, and why did we build pixel pieces? Yeah, what is our mission? What is the core values of the things that we believe in? what else would be, what's good for a good introductory video here? And this video, I would imagine this will be kind of on the home page. So it's going to be no more than 2 minutes long. So it'll be fairly short. So I think it would be good to have, I'm going to put this in a square brace here, because it's not so much of a words, but it's more of kind of what's going to be in the background. So I think we need to have just what am I thinking? We need to have an animation, not even an animation or demo of pixel pieces in use. So something where you have user is in the app and cutting and pasting a component into their new project. Let's see, actually, users in the app and they're cutting and pasting, they're seeing them working, and say user is modifying the component quickly, just like in the styles panel, something like that. So we'll just kind of have some kind of, whether it's an animation or a screen grab or whatever, just showing people working within the application, right? So not about the core values, the why it should be more of a, the why it should be more a story of what was the struggle that drove you to create it. Yeah, I think I see what you're saying. I think this is it captured in this point here. What problems do we hope Pixel Pieces will solve for you? Because the driving force is, solving our own problem as an agency. And that is wanting to build websites for our clients faster, and hopefully, then you can do the same. So I think that captures what you're saying there. It would be good to see a few. Well, let's just try to put our thinking cap on for a second and think about a user that doesn't know who we are, stumbles upon our website and sees a video and clicks the video. What is it that we want them to learn? So you're right, the core values maybe at the start are not super important, but knowing what it is that Pixel does and really illustrate what problem it is that we're solving, or what headaches that we can alleviate for you that you might be having. If we frame it in that regards, I think it helps a whole lot better. If you say you're watching any kind of video from just some brand and you watch a video and it's like, hey, are you tired of, constantly waking up every morning because you have to like reset some settings in your server, or I don't know, whatever. And you're just like, yes, I have to do that every single day. And you're like, well, do we have a solution for you? And then you're like, oh, of course, that's perfect. Tell me more. Tell me more about this problem that either I had or I even didn't know that I had. So if we frame it that way, I think that'll be really good to kind of hook them in. Point 5 comes after talking about the problem you had. It's called the Tuman augmentation model. The structure is designed to emphasize. So I've never heard of that before. Argumentation model. Let's see. All right. A style of argumentation developed by a philosopher in the 1950s. It consists of 6 component parts: claim, grounds, warrant, qualifier, rebuttal, and backing. Every argument begins with 3 fundamental parts. Yeah, the claim, the grounds, the warrant. So we break an argument down to its parts, and we can make judgments on how well the parts fit together. So I have a question about this. Just like reading this here. Oh, I should hang on a second. Yeah, it's a model of legal argumentation when you're doing your master's degree. So the thing about like marketing and copywriting is that it's not so much of a logical thing. It's really more of an emotional thing. It's like it's a lot. It has a lot to do with the emotions. Like you want to hit on the emotional heartstrings of an individual, of a user, because oftentimes decisions aren't made logically. They're made emotionally. And I totally can't remember exactly how it could fit in this context, but a great book that talks about that is Chris Voss, Never Split the Difference. And that's talking about, I guess he's a negotiator and talking about persuasion and how to kind of get things from other people. But he's talking about a lot about how your tone can affect the other person's emotions and how that could affect how the decisions that those other people are going to make. So I think what we want to do is we want to make sure that when people are watching this video, that it resonates, that we can find that pain point within that person so they can react with like, oh yeah, I hate when that happens. Yeah, I hate taking too long to build websites for my clients, or I hate that I can't do XYZ for my clients. So if we could resonate with that, yeah, and then like you're saying right now, the emotion is attacked first, and then you get them, you hook them with that emotion. They're like, okay, well, here's how we can logically solve this problem or have the solution, and then you kind of lay out the steps. So, so that being said, do I have things? Okay, let's brainstorm a few more points here. And then we can see if we can start to flesh this out in a little bit more of if we could kind of storyboard this out a little bit more. Okay, so what do we want to cover? What is Pixel Pieces? Mission, again, this is kind of like, do we need to do this right now? The purpose and problem. Yeah, these are almost the same. Yeah, so we want to have an animation. And I guess also in the problems, we can talk about the benefits. What do people experience after using Pixel Pieces? I mean, this is a little bit tough to do because we can't really say so much of what the experience are because, well, I guess we can. I mean, we do have people that are on free trials that we could get some people to start getting into using our product and start doing some customer interviews. So we can try to get that kind of information as well too. So, I mean, you could throw it in there like a testimonial. So what I've seen with my components is that all web pages are basically repetitive web components. For the most part, I guess. I mean, yeah, if you look at most websites, yeah, I mean, there's repeatable, consistent things that people expect when they're navigating a website. And if you throw all of those expectations kind of out the door when you're designing a website, then, you know, you might lose the ability to keep people engaged in your website. That being said, rules are always made to be broken, and it depends on the website, and it depends on what you're trying to accomplish. And I think when you're dealing with something that's components, I mean, you're trying to utilize the 80-20 rule. You're trying to provide all the components that'll provide 80% of the things that people would want on a website. By providing 20% of things. I don't know, whatever the 80-20, like 20% effort gets you 80% of the results or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, something like that. So yeah, I mean, because a lot of those things are repetitive over and over again on most websites, I guess you could say it just makes sense to, like, why repeat doing it every single time, right? Use our service so that you don't have to, that's what we have. Like, don't reinvent the wheel, right? So yeah, like you're saying, like me, you're tired of doing them over and over again, wasting valuable time. Yeah, exactly. So you could talk about the repetitive nature of websites, where of the elements are always present again and again. Therefore, don't waste your time and efforts redoing or just redesigning every single time. Yeah, and that again also goes talks a little bit about the problem as well too. Yeah, I mean, if we're thinking again of a 60 to 90 second video, I'm thinking even 2 minutes. I think that's even too long. I think we want 60 seconds, 90 seconds. So it's going to need to be tight. So we got lots of good stuff here. Is there anything else? There could be. You know what's interesting? One of the guys at Basecamp, I think it was Jason. He did a couple of videos. I think there were some stuff was with Basecamp and some stuff was with Hey, where he would have these introductory videos, but they were like 30 or 35 minutes long, and it was just him talking, onto just a camera. But going over the app and like actually utilizing it and just kind of talking about the philosophy or the reasoning why things were a certain way within the application. So as you were going through, or he was walking you through the application, you can see the justification for why it was done a certain way, and you can kind of start to spin in your head how you would use it through your own organization and how you would use it to manage your project, right? If you're looking at Basecamp, which is a project management tool. So I personally really enjoyed those videos, and I feel like that could be a valuable thing for me to do as well too. But that's much different than this 60-second, 90-second, hey, welcome to Pixel, watch this quick video, get the lay of the land, and want to learn more or want to sign up for your free trial. Oh, and that's actually reminds me, we need to have a call to action, right? One call to action. Get started today, for free, forever, blah, 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 whatever it's going to be. So yeah, we definitely want to have that call to action here. You know, whatever. Sign up. Sign up today, you know, and join our community, blah, blah, blah. Not worried about the text yet. We'll obviously refine the actual script. We're just brainstorming right now. Okay. I could say, let's put together, let's talk about, can we do, oh yeah, we can do that with this. Nice. Not framework. I'll say purpose of video. So let's put in a couple points here. 60 to 90 second introductory video. Okay. To have viewers, or let's say after watching, viewers should know exactly what Pixel Pieces does and how they can use it to improve their workflow. But I guess the thing here, I feel like that's a little bit tricky to say because people that are watching the video might not necessarily be, you know, web designers or Webflow users or whatever. They might just be, well, it could be anybody. It could be anybody. I mean, I'm going to target, obviously, Webflow web designers, but you never know, right? But I guess if we're getting somebody that doesn't do websites at all, hopefully they should even understand what the concept is, right? Use Pixel Pieces to help you with the repeatable and time-consuming aspects of building websites. Yeah. Okay, so to points to cover. Okay. What can we do? Can we highlight this? We can. That's kind of cool. Let's highlight this because this is more like an animation thing or B-roll. I would like to watch some explainer videos just to compare. No, I don't want to. I don't know if I want to be too inspired too heavily from other videos. Okay, are we missing anything here? I feel like that's pretty good. I don't even know. Well, I probably want to introduce myself. Yeah, okay. So that's a good, I think that's a good framework for figuring out what we need to write for a script. Can I, how do I, okay, I want to create a new doc now. And this is going to be for this one. Well, this one's going to be a little bit more difficult. to maximize and or optimize your workflow. This video will be more of a tutorial style with lots of like product demo. Shots. Okay. Lessons or topics to cover. All right. So, okay. So what are we talking about here when we want to maximize and optimize your workflow? So we want to, maybe we want to do an analysis of time-consuming processes when it comes to web design. And this doesn't need to be limited to specifically, well, I was going to say maybe we can talk about the whole web design process as a whole, but I don't know if that makes sense. If we want to stick specifically to when you're actually building, and I think we need to stick to when we're actually building. Okay. Stick to the part of the web design process of building, or stick to the building stage of web design. Yeah, so and I think we could get into some specifics around key I'm thinking just like key areas of a website. So we could talk about navigation. Well, specifically navigation. Navigation is really important. I mean, I guess everything is kind of important, but and it would be nice to talk about well, I'm thinking of things, like usability and like typography and all these other things that are not so much like Pixel Pieces isn't really designed for that type of like you're not going to go to Pixel Pieces and get something outside the box with the components that is going to be like a final product, right? It's not meant to be like that. So it's tough to say that Pixel Pieces can help you optimize how you start to like pick your typefaces and all that kind of stuff. But what can we do here? What can we talk about? I think we can think about just put another point here. Like being like mindful when creating your wireframes and breaking them down into the simplest component pieces. And then being able to match that with what's available. So that's a little bit tricky because Pixel Pieces is still pretty young and we don't have a full slew of different components. But it's something to keep in mind, especially when you're designing to have an idea of what's the art of the possible when you're actually going to build something. I'll say navigation and I'll say the home page. Super important. We can talk about site speed and how that links to SEO as well too. That's an important thing to consider. And accessibility. Responsive design as well. I think those are some pretty good big specific things that we can cover and how we could illustrate how these things are built into all of our components. So I think that'll be really, really good. And I think it would be really cool to put together just like a complete walkthrough of taking a sample design, let's just say in Figma. So like kind of create a sample website in Figma and using Pixel Pieces to build out the design. And then of course, as a bonus or whatever you want to call it, we can provide the design files and the what's it called when you have a Webflow website and you make it clonable? And maybe the clonable Webflow project to viewers. So that would be really cool. That's a cool thing to have, a little kind of benefit. Let's put that purple. Complete walkthrough of taking a sample design and using Pixel Pieces to build a design. You talk about the points listed from number 2 and incorporate that into the build. So that's good. Okay, so we want to talk about optimizing workflow. Okay, so you talk about the problem. So the step 1. So this would be kind of like step 1. Like identify the problem that we are going to learn how to solve in the video. Right? Go design / building like a website. So if we're analyzing, say, okay, when you're building a website, these things, ABC, whatever, generally take a long time to figure out. And that's okay too. And the whole idea is not to say that everything in the whole web design process is time consuming or needs optimizing, because sometimes it just takes a lot of time sometimes to do really good work, right? Especially if you have a really big website that has a lot of different moving parts, lots of different stakeholders, lots of different things to consider when you're building, and it might have a lot of complexity in terms of what it needs to do or what it needs other people to be able to do on the website, then those things take time to plan out, and you don't really want to have a shortcut to that. But I think what we really want to emphasize with Pixel Pieces is that once you have all of that stuff figured out and you're ready to start building, how can you optimize specific tools to help you build faster without sacrificing quality? So, share that. Talk about processes. Ooh, too many E's. Are not meant to be done as quickly as possible. Takes time to do good work. Design phase. As fast as possible without compromising quality. Okay. So we'll talk about that somewhere, somehow. So we start by identifying the problem that we're going to solve. This could be a step 2 or part 2 or whatever of the video. Qualify that not everything needs to be fast. And then then that leads us into saying, okay, we're really talking about the building phase and when you're ready to build a website. And then we could talk about the different aspects of building that are really important to make sure that you do get right, like the navigation, like the homepage, making sure your site loads quickly. And then how can you use those? Some of these are sections and some of these are like kind of principles as well too. So I might have to flesh that out a little bit better. But then the idea would be, how do you take those kind of points and use specific tools, in this case, Pixel Pieces, to develop them quickly or to use what we have available, but not sacrifice on the quality, not sacrifice on the speed, accessibility, SEO, all those kinds of things. And again, I guess it does also tie into the don't reinvent the wheel thing. There could be a thing where we're sounding like a broken record because at the end of the day, we want to get it to the point of the user is like, hey, listen, using this helps save so much time on your build. Okay, so I think this one here is going to be the really big thing of doing the actual walkthrough. It's going to be like a one page home, one page design. Probably like the home page. Yeah. Yeah, so I like that. I think that's gonna this will make for a really it'll make for a really good video. It's gonna be interesting to see how I'm going to how this is gonna shape up. So we kind of have this framework of the things that we want to cover. So I think the next step would be yeah, putting together the different sections that we're going to want to cover in the video of the script. So that's more into script writing. We're kind of just brainstorming for today. So tomorrow I'll probably start actually writing some stuff. Is there anything that we're missing here? So I think the idea or the key takeaway, let's say, let's go key takeaway. We want the user to see and understand how effective pixel pieces can be in turning designs into fully built like websites. I'm going to say Webflow websites, but just to say websites in general for now. Webflow just happens to be the tool, but it's the idea is like, wow, I had no idea that I could take a design that I made in Figma or whatever the case may be, or even my sketch, like a wireframe sketch. I had no idea that I could build it up so quickly using a component library. So that's cool. So that's the key purpose of this video. And then of course we have our call to action. Call to action. Try it yourself for free. Sign up for like whatever forever free account today. Whatever. Again, this isn't script. This is just notes here and the kind of frameworks for these videos. Okay, so we got kind of two of them. Let's this one's gonna be interesting. How to build your very own Webflow component library. This one, I don't know if it's gonna be more of a like a 5-part like video course or something like that, but let's see. How to build your very own Webflow component library. This will be an in-depth tutorial. Tutorial on how to go from idea to complete application build. And then the functionality, we're going to want to have members / accounts. You're going to have single page components, multi-page components, filtering, sorting. I don't know how far into the weeds we need to get with sorting. I think filtering is good, so you can filter for the types of components, right? I mean, another tutorial on how to go for, yeah. And what I mean by single page components, that's just the copy and paste functionality. Copy, paste functionality. Right. Mm-hmm. Oh, excuse me. What did I do there? Oh, it's got this link icon here. Interesting. Maybe something like an outline. I don't know if that's the right word I want to use right now, but okay. Introduction into what we are going to build. And something like, after this tutorial, you'll have your very own whatever, very own blah, 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 Webflow component library. Okay, so we can also outline the main steps to the build. And I might need to put a little more thought into these main steps. Just kind of going back to what we're doing. But so one is the design of the app itself. We want to know the types of components. Is that even really important? Anyways, let's brainstorm. Just no stupid points just yet. Introduction to what we're going to be building. Yeah, outline the main steps to the build. Slash, I'll say tutorial. Yeah. Types of components. Connecting with member stack to create membership functionality. We could probably say connecting with Stripe to accept payments. Okay. Creating components. Utilizing a Webflow framework. And just think of client first, mast. And then creating copy paste functionality. I mean, that's just the JavaScript for that. Plus the what's it called? The clipboard inspector. What else? What else do we need? I mean, what other steps do we have? We could talk about, I mean, there's a thing that I'm trying to do now, which is the last step, is using Mixpanel, which I kind of have open here, to track like how well your application is performing, right? But since I haven't done that yet, I very well can't pass on any information that I've learned yet. I mean, hopefully by the time this video is going to go live, that I will have done it, but we'll see. And there could be, we could go more in depth too. We could talk about connecting with Airtable. I could say MailChimp. This is just for, that's just for like your marketing, right? So we could talk about, integration with Zapier, with all these things. So almost each section in this tutorial will be how to use these specific tools, and like which tools it is that we're going to be using. Yeah. It's to build. Yeah, this is going to be in depth, pretty intense. You know what would be nice here? It would be nice that if I had a template that was already built and ready to go, that I could use, like, hey, I'm using this template to build this to this site. You know, so if you're looking for a template for this, you can just, you know, use this one, right? Or you can just start by, you know, you could try doing this on your own using whatever template that you want. But that would be really ideal. Let me look at, okay, let's go back to here. How to build your very own, April 1st. What are we? We're on the 28th, and we have, 29 days? I think it's a leap year this year. That's still not a lot of time. So in 30 days, do I have time to create a whole Webflow template that could be used as a good starting point for creating a Webflow component library? And then I could use it for that. I could use it for the tutorial, and then I could obviously make it available within the template section of Pixel Pieces, right? In this template section, which of course right now has no templates because, you know, coming soon, because we don't have any right now. That's a very tall order and a tall task, given the time frame. 1 month. I mean, it sounds like it's not a lot. It sounds like it should be enough time, but you just have to, you know, cut me maybe a little bit of slack in the sense that I have clients that I'm dealing with right now. Not dealing with. I mean, I love working with my clients. I love my clients, but they take up a lot of time during the day. And then I'm also trying to, you know, build the components and things like that for Pixel Pieces. And there's other parts of this business that I'm trying to work on too. So it takes, like, even just doing these videos, it's like takes, like, a video can take 10 to 15 hours of work. I mean, depending on how complex I want it to be with the post-production and all that kind of stuff. But that's a lot of time. So yeah, anyways, there are only so many hours in the day. And every once in a while, my family likes to say hello to me. Every once in a while. The point being this, yeah. This might be something to put on the, like, to release it a little bit later as we get more established, as I guess maybe where I'm going with this. So I don't know what to call this here, but I'm going to say, like, nice to have, and I'm going to say have a completed Webflow template that we can use as the main starting point for this tutorial, and invite users to download. I think that maybe the word is to clone. To clone the to clone the what's the word? To clone the website, I guess. To clone the project. Clone the project. For free. Yeah, joining Pixel. I don't know exactly. The templates are a little bit weird because you can't really hide them behind a paywall. So, but that'll be interesting. We'll figure that out later. Right, so that would be really nice to have. So, so the question, is it worth moving the release of this video until such a time till we can get the accompanying with a Y, accompanying Webflow project ready. My gut is telling me yes. Highlight. So sometimes you just need to listen to the gut. Okay, can I undo the highlight there? Okay. Okay, what else is needed for building your very own Webflow component library? We have we have the Webflow website. Right, obviously, okay, well, we need a Webflow account, obviously. So you need the Webflow account. You don't necessarily need Airtable. I'm using Airtable. But we'll have to think about that. You definitely need MemberStack. You need Stripe. Well, that's if you want it. If you want to collect members, I guess you're going to need MemberStack. And if you want to get paid for it. And I guess you could use the built-in Webflow users, but again, I'm not a fan of that at all. Unless you don't want to do anything with the user data and not really being able to have access to it or to be able to export it or put it in anywhere. Like you can't even capture that information in Zapier or whatever. So it's really limited. Okay. So you need MemberStack, and then if you need MemberStack, you need Stripe. You're going to want Zapier if you're going to want to do I was just thinking now if you wanted to use the copy button as a submit form instead of an actual button right now. Because if it's a submit form, that we can capture that. We can capture that event. I didn't think about that before. Because that exactly is how we're going to do the there's one feature that we're missing in Pixel Pieces, and it was the heart button. So you can favorite it and have favorites. That's just one functionality that we said, okay, well, we'll just launch Pixel Pieces and then we'll build that in later. And that was through a form. So you submit the form, and then we'd capture that information and put it in the database as this user clicked on this. So turn that on and add that to their list of favorites to that account. So we could also do that for other things. I don't know why I didn't think of that before in terms of tracking instead of maybe using Mixpanel, but I think we'll use Mixpanel anyways. Okay, anyways, that's a little bit of an aside. Get myself off track. Okay, so yeah, we want to talk about, I guess, what components they want to use, and then maybe giving them some tips on using a particular framework if they wanted to pick a framework, so that people will be hopefully more willing to use your components if it's following a framework that they as well follow. How necessary is that? I don't know. I think it's pretty important. But yeah, the framework conversation it's very interesting to me. I'm still trying to figure out what's best for me and my workflow. So I'm still thinking about that because I haven't nailed down any framework that I think is better than the other just yet. Anyways, that's another topic for another day. Yeah. And then of course the big thing is how to actually create the copy and paste functionality. That was the big thing, and it ended up being not that bad at all, and it's just JavaScript, which is cool. And there's already some tutorials out there, which we do need to give credit for as well. So credit original source. And that's it. I mean, that's all the functionality that we basically have. We could talk about like using member stack to gate access levels. You know, if you want to have different tiers, whether you're premium, freemium, or whatever the case may be. Yeah, that's good. I think that's a really good start. And so the last one that we need to do, our first original 4 videos that we're going to produce, is why Webflow works for my design agency. So this will be a much easier interview because it's more of a talking head video. So purpose of video. I'll say to demonstrate to the audience that 1, I am knowledgeable in web design, and that I've done many successful projects for clients throughout my career. So I'm not trying to convince anybody to use Webflow or to go to Webflow. I just want to talk about why it works for me. I think, the purpose of the video is I want people that see this video to think, hey, this guy, whether they agree with me or not, I mean, that could be a completely different story. But to be like, hey, this guy, he's knowledgeable in web design. He's a good designer, he's a good developer. Because I guess the point is to become, just to show authority in this space, right? And if people, if I'm trying to market to potential clients, this is again more of the design agency format, but I want to get that sense of authority over to people that don't know anything about websites, don't know anything about web design, but to see my videos and be like, hey, this is a person that I probably wouldn't mind hiring to build me my website, right? So that's, what's the, convey, that's what I'm looking for. Convey a sense of authority in the web design space. Nice space. If you hire me, me to build your website, you won't have any regrets. Right, like that's kind of the mentality here that I'm thinking. Okay, so we want to talk about just the points. or points of discussion. Okay, so I want to talk about the ease of use. How I can quickly go from sketches, designs to building. And we could definitely throw in, nod to pixel pieces here, right? So it's so great, in fact, that I even just built this whole tool to help me build websites even faster. So yeah, ease of use. We're going to talk about flexibility. Obviously flexibility / integration. These aren't necessarily in order as well too, so I'm just kind of jotting down notes here. Again, that'll come when we actually kind of write the actual scripts here. Flexibility, integration with other applications. Just say the no code. I want to see like the Renaissance. What was it called? Like the prevalence that all these no code tools are getting more and more prominent. What's the word? It's not resurgence because it didn't go anywhere. It just kind of has sprung up. What's that word? What is that word? Like popularity? I don't know what the word is. Like the rising. Like the prominence. That's not the word either. Prominence? Prominence? How do you spell? All right. So the maintenance or lack thereof. Maybe I'm going to do a slight comparison with Webflow, with WordPress, because that was the framework of choice back in the day. Maintenance. So, okay. Comparison with WordPress. Yeah. And then also, what's the word I'm looking for here? The ability to teach clients how to edit their own content. Much easier to hand over to clients. I mean, I generally like to keep a relationship with my clients and help them manage their websites so that they don't even have to worry about learning it. But if they do, giving a Webflow site to a client, I feel so much more at ease than giving a WordPress site to a client, especially if that WordPress site has a bunch of plugins. Because a WordPress site can very quickly go out of date, have security issues, what have you. All these plugins that need updating and things can break. And it's just like, oh, it's a nightmare. I'm just thinking about it right now. This is like a nightmare. Right. So I wonder if I should discuss, like, to be fair, like potential negatives. So, I mean, it could be the idea, like it's closed source. So you don't have any control. What if you get blocked or whatever? If Webflow says like, hey, I don't like your site anymore. I don't like what you're doing. You can't have access to my platform. So that could be an issue. Like what if the company goes under? I mean, that could also be another issue. So that is something that I definitely worried about, because obviously WordPress is fantastic, open source. You just grab it and then away you go. Potential negatives. What else have I thought about that has been a drawback of Webflow? Yeah. It's definitely difficult for more complex websites. Like even with what I'm doing now with Pixel Pieces, that's like pushing the limits of how complex I'd want it to be. And there's already limitations, and I'm already going to have to do things to have the back end on like another platform, like have a database somewhere else, and build the back end through another structure, and maybe still use Webflow as the front end. But if you want to build any kind of complex app, you're not going to use Webflow, at least not for managing the back end. You might want to use it for the front end, but I don't know so much about the back end. Yeah, so Rolando, no, there's never bad talk about the product. The one is always perfect according to your circumstances. Yeah, absolutely. It's always according to your circumstances. That's actually a really good point. So always need to find what works best for you and for you, the purpose of the website, and just the overall project, really. That being said, there are some times too where some choices are just really bad, and it's like, why did you make that decision? That's happened to me before. But you know, hey, sometimes you need to go through those lessons and those hardships. So what else? What are the comments? Okay. Oh, that's kind of nice. You add comments to the documents. So yeah, it's easy to use. It's super great for my clients. And I think too, I could talk about the speed of building. It's fast. And I find too that the websites, like the servers, they're also fast. Loading times are fast. So those that's really good, obviously, for good SEO juice, which is a good thing. Number 7, but Webflow has one of the best platforms for the development of visually incredible websites. Yeah, like absolutely. It's a great mix of, or balance of, like a visual designer to develop like the complex coding. Like you don't have to learn how to code, right? So, but that being said, I guess for me, like if I'm going to be honest in terms of saying like why it works for me as a design agency, that's not really that critical. Because I could build something that looks visually incredible. I mean, that's a subjective thing, with other tools. It just so happens to be, for what I'm trying to achieve as an agency, this tool happens to work best because of all these other different things that it does. Like Webflow doesn't make me a better designer, in that it's not going to improve what the website at the end of the day is going to look like, if that makes any sense, right? You know, that's where I need to grow as a designer. If we're just talking about strictly what the website looks like at the end of the day. But yeah, you're saying it was an idea for you to choose 0.7. Oh yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think if we're going to be, if we want to come across as fair and unbiased, we could talk about, if we're going to say why it works and why it might not work for you, you could talk about the learning curve. It's a good idea to understand HTML and CSS and how websites are structured in the browser. But really the thing too, the most important thing with an agency, well, I don't know if this is the most important thing. This is pretty important. It's how you develop your relationships with your clients, right? And how you can convey the work that you do to your clients in the best possible way. So the client has the utmost confidence in what you do, and you have the utmost confidence in what you deliver to your clients. And for me, Webflow has given me that absolute confidence because just everything from the interface, from the back end, and when people are using the editor or what have you, it's just a smooth client experience. So I'm just going to put that here, like a smooth client experience. I never have any reservation with showing clients the back end, the editor, say the back end, we'll say the designer, or the editor. Because with WordPress, sometimes I'm like, I guess you still have the same thing too. It's like, hey, just don't touch this or don't touch that or whatever. But sometimes with WordPress, you got all those red dots all over the place. When you got plugins that need updating or what have you, it can be pretty intimidating. But if someone's just going to be going onto the website and just using the editor, it's a very good soft landing for them to be able to update the sites. I think WordPress has that stuff now. They have, I think they have some live editing. I think I could be wrong, but anyways, the most important thing about an agency is to generate money and keep customers who bring better customers. Obviously, the flow of money is critical. It's like the lifeblood of an agency. But going beyond that, or going even deeper into that, it's how can you best build those client relationships? Because at the end of the day, business is all about relationships, right? And you want to be able to work really, really well with your clients, and you want to give so much value to your customers and really make them feel that you can help them with anything, that you're just like this kind of superpower or the superhero when it comes to building and managing whatever, like their website. And to have the right tools that can showcase that, I think that's in turn going to lead them to talking about other people, for you to feel comfortable raising your rates, charging more money, and bringing in those higher paying clients. And I think everything kind of flows from that. Like the money flows through from the work. Like the money's the byproduct, right? It's not the end all goal. It's a byproduct of doing great work, and doing that consistently. And then having people super happy with your work after the fact. Like I know for me, in the early days, I would do a project, just give them like a website, and I hand it off. And then like 6 months later, it's like, it wasn't the greatest project. The WordPress wasn't really set up right. I'm not really feel comfortable kind of handing that off. And I didn't feel as good about the project. And that's the kind of feeling that if you're feeling that, the client's probably, some of that is coming through as well. Or the client might be like, I'm not sure exactly how to use this interface and how to use this website. So it's those types of things that having a tool that you know that you can count on, that you can trust, really helps. So anyways, Rolando, you're taking off. No, absolutely. I sent you an email too saying that I just got it just before your email, right before I was going to go live. So I just responded real quick. I'll have a look, and as soon as I can. I think I could go have supper now, and I don't know what else I need to do the rest of the day. But I'll have a look for it as soon as I can, and send you that feedback. So thanks for sending that to me. I really appreciate it. That being said, I think these are good points now. I might think of one or two others, but those are the 4. Yeah, we got the 4 outlines done for the videos that we want to do. So that's good. So we got that done in like an hour and a half. That's pretty good. I like that. Okay, so as I said, I got supper now, so I do need to take off as well. Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate it. I think, what are we going to do tomorrow? I don't know. We need to start writing these scripts. That might be pretty boring because I usually just think a lot instead of talking. So that might be interesting or not very interesting to watch. So we'll figure out what to do tomorrow. No, stay tuned to whatever, title I choose or whatever when I kind of post when we're going to go live. So anyways, yeah, that's all I got for today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. Yeah, I'm happy. I think these are going to be some really good videos. So I think everything's going to look really good as we keep plugging away here as we march towards that $1 million. So have a good one. Thank you for joining, and we'll see you tomorrow.